guys. In this video, you will learn how you can start creating your own variables in Python and how to give name to your variables and what is a variable in Python. Okay, so let's get started. So a variable is in Python is a container that stores data. Let's take an example, right? Let's see, okay, we want to say a variable is a container that contains data. So this one is the variable, and we can say this one is the data. So let's see how that works, okay? Okay, so for example, let's say, okay, we want to, this one is the variable, right? This one is the variable. And then this one is the data that is contained inside of the variable. Okay, let's not waste too much time right here. We will see some other examples so you can have a better idea. Okay, so let's say if I have this one, I have name equal Dave, right? I have name equal Dave. Then the one on the left, okay, is the variable name, and the one on the right is the data that is contained inside of that variable. Okay, so this is what you just need to keep in mind. And then I can have also age equal 34. Don't worry, I'm not 34. Okay, so the age is the variable and the 34 is the value or the data that 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 contains inside of that variable. Okay, so one of the important thing you need to know when you're giving your variables name first, okay, let's see, first, your variable cannot start with a number, right? I'm sorry, cannot start with a number. Okay, for example, we cannot have two name, let's say we cannot have two name equal Dave. This will not work. Bad practice. This will not work at all. Okay, do never ever try to do that. In the future, you will see some cases where you might be able to use numbers in your variable, but for for now, forget about using numbers in your, okay, in the future, your variable can have like numbers, but it cannot be started with the number. That is what you need to keep in mind, okay? And then your variable cannot contain spaces, right? Let's say, let me show you something. Okay, number two, your variable cannot contain space, right? Spaces. This is something, for example, let's see if I want to create name, I say name and M, and I say equal like Dave. So this one is not doable. You cannot do this in Python. Okay? So these are things you need to keep in mind before we can continue with the course. And I want to make sure you have a good understanding of variables before we move to something like loops, like if statement, etc. And then your variable should have a meaningful name. Let's say you use a meaningful name for your variable. Okay, should have a meaningful name for a variable. Let's say if we have this one, right? Name equal Bob, okay? And then we have age equal 35. But it will be better, okay? It will be better if we can say first name, you see? First name equal Bob, you see? And we can say user age equal 25. That would be way better than just say name equal Bob and age equal 35, because right here we have a meaningful name for the first name, and we have a meaningful name for this variable. Okay, this variable, okay, I'm sorry, this variable has a meaningful name and this variable has another meaningful name. So which is important. And when somebody is looking at your code, they can see exactly what this variable is for. Okay, so now that is these kind of things you need to keep in mind, and that will help you all along the way of becoming your a Python developer. But now, how we can output the value from the variable? To output the value from the variable, it is quite simple. We just print the name of the variable. Okay, we just print the name of the variable. Let comment this one. And then when we print the name of the variable, it will return the value that is associated with that variable. Let me show you. You see, now it returns the value that is associated with that variable. Okay, so you have a better understanding of how you can create your own variable. You know your variable cannot start with a number, cannot contain spaces, use meaningful name for your variable. Now, this is an important concept before we can move forward. And then there is something else that I want you to keep in mind is the fact that we can have multiple assignment. Let's say we have uh, I'm sorry, x, y, z, and we can say they equal to 1, 2, 3. These are important for you to know, and you will see that a lot. And then we can print like x, you see, we we can print y. Okay, I'm sorry, I write Z. We can print right, and then we can print like a Z, and then take a look to see what it will give us, right? We have 1, 2, 3, and then also for this one, okay, you see it prints Bob because the name of that variable is Bob, okay? But now if we say, okay, print uh the first name, you will see what it will give us, right? Let's see what it will give us. It gives us Bob. Okay, right here, let's say if we change that one to Dave, and then let's say if we say, okay, we'll print the first name will be Dave because the value that is associated with that variable is Dave, and the one that is associated with the name variable is Bob. Okay, so now you know what is a variable, how to get the value of the variable, how to print them, how to output the value of the variable, and you know you can have multiple assignment in this way. If you don't know what is a print is a Python function, okay, that displays information on the screen, and I expect you to watch the previous video so you can understand better what is the print statement and how to use them, okay? Now let's have a little bit of exercise, guys. I recommend this code, right? Okay, I want you to stop the video, right? And to print this message on the screen, okay? To say my name is Sarah, okay? My name is Sarah, and I'm 45 years old. I want you to print this on the screen, okay? You can stop the video right here and then try to see if you can do it, okay? And then first you will need to create a variable, give it a name, and then you will need to also you will create two variables, one for the name and one for the age. And then I want you to try to solve this. And then if you cannot solve it, now let's solve it. Okay? So what we'll do, we'll create two variables. Let's say we say uh, username, you see, username equal Sarah, let's see, and then user age, I'm sorry, user age equal 45. And then if you don't know how to print numbers and string together, on how to display them together on the terminal, I expect you have you I I hope you will get back to watch the previous video about the print statement, how that works, right? What we'll do, we'll first do, okay, uh, my name, you see, my name is, and then you pass the number, you can say user age, you see, and then right here we can say, uh, I'm sorry, my name is, and then you can pass the username, and then you can say okay, and I'm, and then you pass, and I'm sorry, and uh, I'm, you see, and you will pass the user age, okay, user age, and then you will pass the year old. So let's print this one to see what will be the result. Okay, so you see, my name is Sarah and I am 45 years old. That is amazing, right? So you can try to like to use another examples and do a lot of other things in order to be able to get that done, okay? And then one of the thing you can also know is that you can change the name of a variable. Let's comment this code to see. We comment this code and then we'll try. Now we can change variable values, right? Let's say if I have age equal 35, okay? And then I print, okay, age equal 35. But now I can have age equal 56 and then I can print it again and then it can say I can print age again. So let's see what will be the result if we do that. If we do that, what will be the result? You see, it print 35 first, and then it print the 56 because the variable value can be changed, okay? The values can be changed. Though, yeah, it is not like, okay, if you define a value, you cannot change it. You can change it in the future. But you will see how that works more, a little bit more in the future, and then you'll have a better understanding. But for now, just keep in mind that you can change the value of a variable, okay? Okay, variable, one thing you need to keep in mind is that the variable can store different data types. For example, let's comment this code, okay? So we can have a name equal like Bob, you see? And then we can have height of Bob, okay, equal 175, let's say 156. And then we can say, okay, is a student, is Bob a student? We can say true. Okay, so the first variable like stores a string, right? This the first variable store a string. This is a string. The second variable stores like a float. This called a float in Python. But don't worry about this. We will see different type of we will see like data types in the next coming in the next video. So don't worry about this. We will see what it is. So we can this is a float, and then this one stores a boolean, right? And don't worry, as I mentioned, we will done in the next coming video, we will see different types of data types. Okay, so don't pay too much attention to string, float, or boolean. You see, so that means the variable can store different types of data types. Okay, and then after that, one thing you need to know is that we can check the type of a variable. Let's say if I have, okay, I can print the type, we can write type of name. What type is name? You will see I mentioned string. Let's see. Okay, this is a string. Okay, and then let's print the type of the other one. What type is height? Okay, and then I'm sorry, we need to type okay of height. What type is it? And then print uh a type of student, a student. So let's try to see what will be the result on the console. Okay, the first one, as I mentioned, is a string. This one is a float. Okay, this one is a float, and this one is a boolean, and this one is a boolean as well. Okay, so these are some kind of things you need to know in order to master variables in Python. It is quite simple. You don't need to like beat yourself up. It is quite simple. And then another thing you need to know is that you can assign the same value to multiple variables. For example, I can have x, okay, equal y, okay, equal z equal 400. And if I print, you will see x, okay. If I print like a y, if I print a z, I'm sorry, you will see what will be the result, okay. So the result will still be the same. That means we can assign the same value to multiple variables. Okay, so I expect you learn a lot of things in this video, guys. And then if you do not know what is the print function, you can get back to the previous video and watch it and come back to this video so you can understand everything. And then now we are going to try some examples. I'm going to give you something to try so you can write your code by yourself. And then let's see. Okay, I want you to print on the console to print this message. I want you to say Sarah, okay? Mm-hmm. Sarah lives, okay, in Mexico. In Mexico. That is an example. I want you to do this one. I want you to create a variable for the name and a variable for the city. And then pause the video in case you cannot solve it. Let's solve it together. So what we'll do, we'll create a variable called name. Okay, we can say username, as I have told you. It's better to give it a name like that, username equal like Sarah, right? Mhm. I'm sorry, username equals Sarah, and then uh, I write Sarah in a bad way, equals Sarah, and then city equal Mexico, Mexico. So now we can print the message in the console. We can say uh, username, all right? Lives. I'm sorry, we need to put this in inside of two quotes. In, right? In, right? And then we put the city. Let's see what will be the result. Okay, Sarah lives. I'm sorry, I need to put lives right here. I was the one making the mistake. Okay, we can say Sarah lives in Mexico. That is amazing, guys. If you want to learn more, do not forget to follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then what you can expect to learn in the future, like the next coming video will be about like different type of data types. This is what we'll cover. Today we cover like variables. We are going step by step so you can cover all the fundamentals before you can move on to write like complex like Python code, because these are the most essential skills you need in order to move on, in order to become an amazing Python developer. Thank you for watching this video. Have an amazing day. Bye bye.